The snow fell heavy that Christmas Eve as Margaret sat alone at the bus stop. Her worn coat barely kept out the December cold. At 62 years old, she had seen better days. The hospital bills from her late husband's illness had taken everything. Their small savings vanished in a matter of months. Now she worked double shifts at the diner just to keep her tiny apartment. But tonight was different. Tonight, she was heading to her daughter's house across town for Christmas dinner. It would be the first holiday without him. Margaret clutched her purse tighter, feeling the single $10 bill inside. It was all she had until next week's paycheck. The bus fare was $3. That would leave $7 for a small gift for her grandson. She had found a used storybook at the thrift store for $5. It was the same book she used to read to her daughter years ago. The thought made her smile despite the cold. A figure approached through the falling snow. A young woman, maybe 19 or 20. She wore a thin jacket, completely wrong for this weather. Her hands were red from the cold, and she was shaking. The girl stopped a few feet away, looking uncertain. Margaret noticed she was holding something. A baby, wrapped in what looked like a thin blanket. The infant couldn't have been more than a few months old. The young mother's eyes were desperate. "Excuse me," the girl said quietly. Her voice trembled not just from the cold. "I'm so sorry to bother you, but my baby needs medicine. The pharmacy closes in 20 minutes, and I'm still short $10. I've been trying for hours, but everyone just walks past." Margaret's heart sank. She looked at the shivering child in the young woman's arms. The baby's face was flushed with fever. Without thinking, Margaret opened her purse. She pulled out her last $10 bill. "Here," she said, handing it over. "Take care of that baby." The young woman's eyes filled with tears. "Are you sure?" she whispered. "I can't take your last money. I saw you counting it." Margaret pressed the bill into her hand. "A baby's health comes first. You get that medicine right now. The pharmacy is just 2 blocks that way." The girl hugged her quickly. "God bless you," she said. "I'll never forget this." She hurried away into the snow, her baby held close. Margaret sat back down at the bus stop. Her hands were empty now. No bus fare. No gift for her grandson. Just a cold bench and falling snow. She would have to walk the 5 miles to her daughter's house. At her age in this, weather would take hours. But she felt no regret. Some things mattered more than comfort. 20 minutes passed. The bus came and went. Margaret stood watching it disappear down the snowy street. She pulled her coat tighter and started walking. Then she heard it, the smooth sound of an expensive engine. Headlights cut through the snow behind her. She moved to the side of the road, assuming the car would pass. Instead, it slowed down beside her. It was a black limousine, the kind she had only seen in movies. The rear window rolled down. Margaret stepped back, startled. A man in his early 30s sat in the back seat. He wore an expensive suit and had kind eyes. His dark hair was perfectly styled even at this late hour. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said. "Were you just at that bus stop?" Margaret nodded, confused. "Yes, but I missed my bus. I'm walking now." The man's expression grew serious. "A young woman with a baby just came to my office building. She was crying, saying an angel had given her money for medicine. She described you perfectly. Said you gave her your last $10. Margaret felt her cheeks flush. It was nothing really. The baby needed help. The man opened the car door. "Please get in. Let me take you wherever you're going. It's Christmas Eve, and you shouldn't be walking in this weather." Margaret hesitated. "I couldn't possibly. You don't even know me." The man smiled gently. "My name is David. My driver and I were about to head home when that young mother stopped us. She wanted to return your money, but I told her to keep it. I gave her extra for the medicine and some groceries. Now, please let me do this." Something in his voice reminded Margaret of her own son, who had moved away years ago. She got into the warm limousine. The leather seats were heated. It felt like heaven after the frozen bus stop. "Where can I take you?" David asked. Margaret gave her daughter's address. As they drove through the snowy streets, David told her his story. His mother had raised him alone, working 3 jobs. A stranger had once helped them when they had nothing. That kindness changed everything for us, he said. My mother always told me to pay it forward. When I see someone like you who gives without hesitation, I know I'm seeing the same spirit. Margaret felt tears on her cheeks. I just did what felt right. My husband and I never had much, but we always believed in helping others. David reached into his coat pocket. He pulled out an envelope. Margaret, I'm the CEO of the company, in that building where the young mother found me. This is for you. Margaret opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a check. Her eyes widened. It was for $50,000. She couldn't breathe. I can't accept this, she gasped. This is too much. David shook his head. You gave everything you had tonight, not knowing where your next meal would come from, not knowing how you'd get home. That kind of selflessness is rare. My company has a foundation that helps people like you, people who give everything and ask for nothing. Margaret wept openly now. The limousine pulled up to her daughter's house. Through the window, she could see the warm lights and her family waiting. David helped her out of the car. Merry Christmas, Margaret, he said. Use this to honor your husband's memory. Live without worry. Know that your kindness tonight didn't just help one baby. It reminded me why I do what I do. He handed her a card. If you ever need anything, call me. And please come visit the foundation. We'd love to hear your story. The limousine drove away, leaving Margaret standing in the falling snow. She looked at the check again. It was real. She walked to the door in a daze. Her daughter opened it with worried eyes. Mom, where have you been? We were so worried. Margaret stepped inside and held her daughter close. She told them everything. About the young mother and the baby. About giving her last money. About the miraculous limousine and the kind-hearted man named David. Her grandson listened with wide eyes. Grandma, you're a hero, he said. Margaret smiled through happy tears. No, sweetheart. I just remembered what really matters. The best gifts aren't wrapped in paper. They're wrapped in love and given freely. That Christmas Eve, Margaret learned that kindness always returns. Sometimes in ways we never expect, but always when we need it most. In the comments below, tell me from which country you are watching my video. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment telling us about a time when someone's kindness changed your life. Read Claude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.